7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the freaking frogs gay. Serious crap.
Hello. What's up,
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. What's up?
Oh, just planning my next Saturday.
Your next Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I'm going to a big comic convention.
Ooh, nice. Where at?
The Huntington Convention Center in Cleveland.
Okay. Is it like an all-around thing? Is it just comics or is it like everything? Well, most of them are
everything.
Yeah, most of them have some because the collectible market has gotten so big. So yeah, it's probably gonna have everything there. They're
gonna have everything like meet and greets. I have a chance to meet Shatner.
Ooh,
yeah.
I'm happy, man. He's getting up there. Isn't he like 95?
I think so.
It is 90s.
But I also hear his autograph sessions are pricey as hell.
Oh, I bet they are. Jesus.
So my other choice is if I can't get an autograph from him, Jonathan Frakes is going to be there.
Nice. Yeah, I would take a Jonathan Frakes autograph.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, I don't really have anything. What would I don't know what I would have either one of them autograph. Because I love Star Trek, but I don't really collect Star Trek collectible stuff.
I noticed from the massive lack of it behind you.
Yeah, when it comes to specifically, because first of all, because most of what I collect is action figures related shit, and let's be honest, Star Trek hasn't really had the best. I would say the only good run of Star Trek action figures ever was the 90s Playmate stuff.
Yeah,
I think Mego did some back in the late 70s, and I know what was the name of that company that did them in the late 80s? They did some Next Generation figures. They did a couple of waves. I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Matchbox. Was it Ertl? No, I don't remember if it was Ertl. Somebody did some just 3 3/4 inch, Star Wars sized Next Generation action figures in the late 80s. But then in the 90s, Playmates got the line. And they were, it's not like they were the greatest action figures in the world or anything, but they actually went to through the trouble of trying to make every character, which nobody else had done before and nobody's done since. Because they ran those figures for years.
Yeah, because
doing Star Trek figures for, I feel like they did them for almost throughout the 90s.
Yeah, because Playmates had the contract for when Enterprise came out, and I know the few Trek action figures I had were made by Playmates. I've lost them in my many of moves, but
because they started out doing Next Generation stuff because that's what was on when they got the license, and then they were doing TOS figures, they did DS9 figures, they did Voyager figures, they did Enterprise figures. So they had been doing those lines for at least a decade to cover all those shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was like the most extensive line. And like I said, they weren't like the greatest action figures in the world or anything. They had very basic articulation and stuff like that. But they were well done. They were good figures. Like that's really the only ones. And for whatever reason, I've just never collected them. Like I remember picking some up in the 90s, but as I've got, when I started getting back into collecting about 15 years ago, I never picked any of those up.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I occasionally find them at this old, I don't want to say it's an old store. It's relatively new here in my town. But, like, they will occasionally get stuff in like that from all the old school figures.
Yeah.
Every time I go in there, I go, too bad Matt's not here. I see, like, 15 things he's probably would buy up.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: the figures aren't expensive. Like they never really had like a high value. You can still, I see them from time to time at like local shops and stuff, like still in the package for like $15. They're not expensive figures to get.
No, and if I was to start collecting figures again, I'd probably start there because God forbid if you look at Star Wars figures, they're way more expensive from the 90s.
Oh yeah. The Star Wars stuff is much, much more. Like I'm looking at one right now. Like I just pulled them up as we're sitting here talking about it on eBay. You get 6 figures, still brand new in package. There's a Riker, a Borg, a Q, Noonien Soon, Lieutenant Barclay, and looks like a Nausicaan. So 6 figures for $40. Dude, so that's $8 a figure, brand new, still in package on eBay. So they're not expensive figures to get a hold of. I don't know why. I never picked any of them up. Maybe now I need to. Do I need to pick up those figures now? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, give your shelf back there a little diversity.
That's true, because I've got a bunch of Star Trek stuff over here, which you can't see. I got Star Trek stuff up there. I got He-Man here. I got Randos, G.I. Joe, DC. That's all Marvel. Well, no. TMNT. And then Marvel starts up there and goes around this way. And then I got more Turtles and G.I. Joe over there. I should have some Star Trek. I actually have a space. I have a free shelf because I just condensed some stuff. And I actually have a free shelf that I just freed up literally today as I was doing some rearranging.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get. I should at least have like the main crew for like TNG, TOS, DS9, and Voyager. I should at least have the main crew for those 4 shows. And they made them.
Enterprise?
Maybe Enterprise. I liked Enterprise. I probably liked Enterprise better than most people did, to be honest with you.
Oh, Enterprise was on when I started when I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, I like a lot of Star Trek fans gave Enterprise a lot of shit. I
enjoyed it.
I liked it. I thought there was there was definitely a push to try and make it different from the previous 3 shows. Which there's aspects of that I enjoyed, and then there's aspects of that I didn't enjoy. Speaking
of which, I got just last Friday, it finally arrived from a company called Hero Within. It was part of their last pre-order batch because with Skydance buying out Paramount, they lost their license to keep making these. And it's an NXL1 Command Division flight jacket.
Oh, that's cool.
And on the inside lining, it has like a blueprint of the NXL1 and schematics of the bridge. And it is the most comfortable, like, denim material jacket I've ever had.
I saw some ones. How was I? You know, you get these ads on Facebook and shit. and there was some company that was making the Starfleet jackets, like the black with the red shoulders.
There was two. There was Hero Within, and then there was one called Voltaire Design.
Mhm.
Voltaire Design, I could never afford them, but I think they're also ceasing all production because they are having a whole bunch of issues, so they shut down. And those ones, they were based off your like chest size to would determine what size coat you need.
Yeah.
But they were $500 a coat.
Oh shit.
Fan home, this one costs, because my mom got it for me as a combination Christmas / 36th birthday present, cost I think like, I want to say $120. Well, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And then they even did a Rathacon excursion jacket, but that one was like $300.
Yeah, that jacket's cool.
Right.
The away jacket or whatever they were calling it. That one from Rathacon.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's a
cool.
perfect coat.
Dude, that's
Big
a cool
pockets. But yeah, I kind of can't wait to go to the convention because I haven't been to a convention in like 8 years now.
I just went to one back in September, something like that. I went with Duke. We went to one here. That was pretty cool. It wasn't huge, but it was nice. It had a lot of cool stuff.
Well, I apologize. I pulled a Duke last night and I fell asleep right before the Gunn cat.
Well, I started late because I fell asleep.
And then I woke up this morning and I was like, oh crap. I had some clever one-liners for that chat.
No, he
Damn
could
it.
have made it. Look, he was an hour and a half late for the chat before.
Yeah.
Oh, I was zonked out.
Chats because of that shit. So I fell asleep.
Well, what happened to me yesterday is like, for some odd reason, I woke up at 11:30 at night and I was awake from 11:30 the night before all through work on Friday. I just came home and I passed the hell out.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm not gonna give you shit. Cause yeah.
Matt started our 7 o'clock chat at 8:40.
Yeah. Yep. So I passed out, man. What's up, Gerald? Oh man. Anyway. All right, I want to talk DC tonight.
You have my attention.
Yes. So first, well, let's see. Let's talk about the Lanterns trailer first. I assume everybody's seen it by now.
I have not. I've
You haven't
only
seen the
read.
Lanterns trailer?
Oh, I'm a diehard Lantern fan, but I don't have HBO.
Shocker. I didn't watch
The
it.
trailer's on YouTube.
Oh, my bad.
I said the trailer, not the show. Just the trailer drop. I don't think the show comes out for next month or May. I can't remember when the show comes out. Anyway, it's not out yet.
I haven't watched it.
So the trailer, I'll add this to the stage. Just I can't play it, obviously, but we can kind of float through and look
Okay. Is that supposed to be our Hal Jordan?
Yeah, that's Hal. So that's Hal, and that's Jon Stewart.
Okay, I kind of figured because he's the only one I've seen face plastered all over social media.
Yeah. So anyway, the trailer's here, and it's basically like the trailer opens up with them driving in a car, and he's asking him, "Hey, when do I get a chance to?"
Hey, I am pissed at the trailer because what they're driving in is a fucking Grand National, and they destroy it for the show.
They do. They completely destroy it.
Fuck this show.
It starts off very, very evidently that they've known each other at least for a little while, and Hal is trying to train John, and is not letting him use the ring. But they're training, and then it shows them, and I don't know. Now I had heard from the very beginning that this show was going to be an Earth-based kind of buddy cop crime mystery, like a murder mystery. Like somehow they get involved in trying to solve a murder, which takes them deep into some other stuff, which then that they find out that stuff is actually quote unquote Green Lantern related, right? So it's this thing which I'd heard that from the beginning, and I was like, okay, well, I don't really have an opinion on that. Some people, when that came out, when people heard that, they were like, oh, that sucks. I wanted some big universe spanning fucking whatever and shit. I really, if it's done well, I don't give a shit. Like if it's a Earth-based story that involves a murder mystery that they're trying to solve that somehow ends up pulling them into something because it actually is related to other characters and does have something to do with Green Lanterns and that kind of stuff, I'm like, fine, whatever. Some of the best stories are sometimes the most low-key shit. Example, that last Game of Thrones show, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, is fucking phenomenal. And it basically all takes place over the course of a week at a fucking a jousting competition. Like it's a small story that has little effect on the rest of the Game of Thrones world, yet it was done so fucking brilliantly that it didn't even matter that it was just a small story. You know what I mean? Like it was fucking great. So I don't have a problem with the concept of them saying, hey, let's do something low key with with Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, and then we get from the trailer that Hal's still training John. He hasn't, he's so obviously we're at the point, presumably, that we know Jon Stewart's going to be the next Green Lantern. Hal knows this. They're going with an older Hal Jordan who has been Green Lantern for a long time. And it's just the whole trailer is just very much building up on this like small town kind of murder mystery thing. Something's going on in this town. You don't know what. I've heard that there's a character that pops up in the trailer, which let's see if I can find him here. It shows him at some point in the trailer.
I wonder if
that's supposed to be what's the fuck is it Black? What's his name? Death, the Black Death,
Hand.
Black Hand. Thank you, Black Hand.
Leader of the Black Lanterns, i.e., zombies.
Yeah, apparently he's in the trailer. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with this trailer. Like all the footage from the trailer could be from like the first 2 fucking episodes. I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like they just show, like all the trailer really shows for sure is that they're in this fucking, small town and shit's going on. And, we do get a flash of like the lantern.
Ooh. I do like that design.
It's kind of an Alan Scott style lantern.
Yeah, we've got them holding some kind of sci-fi gun to Jon Stewart's head. At one point it does show Hal. Like the only time it shows any powers used in the whole trailer is right towards the end when like this scene right here, which again I can't play because YouTube copyright shit. It shows him fucking get pissed off and fucking take off flying. And he's not green. He's just flying in his regular clothes. So I guess they're foregoing the whole fake fucking CGI suit because it actually does show like a picture of the suit kind of hanging in the closet, like old and beat up and shit. Like you can't, like it's just kind of, you know, like the suit, like Hal hasn't worn the suit in a long time, basically. So they're going with like a real costume, not a costume that he just fucking puts on because of the, you know, that the ring makes it appear. It's an actual costume that he puts on. So, or at least, you know, I mean, who the fuck knows? Maybe John will be the one, you know, maybe, you know, John generates his costume because, you know, they can generate a costume or he could wear a costume or whatever the fuck. I don't know. But anyway, the trailer doesn't really, I'll be honest, the trailer, if for all the people that were complaining when they heard that this was going to be some like buddy cop, Earth-based fucking murder mystery, you know, 2 Green Lanterns on Earth trying to solve a crime, and they were like, fuck that, you know, that sounds stupid. I want Green Lanterns in space fighting fucking, you know, manhunters or whatever, you know, like this trailer didn't help convince those people.
I mean, well,
this could have been a trailer for like a fucking season of Yellowstone or something, like it, because it almost has no
Yellowstone with power rings.
Yeah, I mean, because it's just like them. It's like them on a road trip while Hal's training John, and they end up in a small town where somebody gets murdered, and somehow they get pulled into it. And
they were looking for the train station.
Maybe they were looking for the train station. I don't know. Like I said, this trailer is not anybody that was already skeptical of the premise of this show. This trailer, I don't think, will do anything to convince somebody that, oh, this might actually be good.
Well, I thought about giving them a chance until they destroyed Grand National.
Destroyed what?
The Buick Grand National. The Buick Grand National. The car.
Oh, the Buick Grand National. I'm like, what? Yeah, no.
Yeah, as soon as they destroyed that, it's like, fuck this show.
Look, for somebody like me that thought it, you know, it might be cool to have a smaller Earth-based show that doesn't fucking jump straight into fucking intergalactic wars. Like, I liked the trailer. The trailer was fine. I'm not saying the trailer was great. The trailer could have been better. They should have thrown some more power stuff in there. I think they're trying to keep it all mysterious and shit under like the presumption, okay, hey, you know this is a Green Lantern show, so we don't need to show that shit or something. I don't know what they were doing. They could have made, honestly, I feel like they could have made this trailer actually in a way, because I am 100% certain there's Green Lantern shit going on in here, right? They just chose not to show that shit because they're trying to play up the whole crime mystery fucking buddy cop shit side of it. And but they could have shown some shit. You're not getting a Green Lantern show without fucking, like, I guarantee you there's Green Lantern shit going down in here. The fact that you get a flash of fucking Black Hand, you get a flash of fucking sci-fi guns, and you get fucking Hal fucking getting pissed off and taking off flying. Like, there's Green Lantern shit in this fucking show, but they just chose not to show any of that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it was probably, if you're trying to get people excited for this show, this was probably not the best trailer, because while I don't have a problem with it, I thought it was a cool trailer. Like, what I had heard about the trailer and what the show was going to be, that's what the trailer showed me. But a lot of people do not like this trailer. A lot of people did not like the idea of this being Earth-based. And I get it, but I also get that they're trying to stay as far away from fucking 2007 Green Lantern as fucking possible, which is completely understandable. So, yeah, let's make the suits real, which, by the way, they already established in Superman, right? Fucking Guy Gardner's suit is not generated by his ring. That's a suit he fucking wears. You know, let's have it be, you know, a little more grounded, a little more realistic, that kind of thing. I'm fine with that if it's done well. Like, as with anything, I mean, the show could be a complete pile of shit. I have no idea. It's hard to tell from a fucking 2-minute trailer, right? but it also could be really fucking good if it's done right. As long as they get the characters right, which I was, and I'll tell you this, I was really, really fucking skeptical about, and I forget the actor's name. Fuck, I can't remember. When they picked that dude to play Hal Jordan, I was really fucking skeptical.
I always think him as the dude from the early edition.
Chandler, is it Chandler something Chandler?
I don't know.
He's the dude from back in the day. He was the coach in Friday Night Lights and all that shit. Anyway, I've never seen him really play the type of character that Hal Jordan is, which is like a very outgoing, cocky. I mean, he's a fucking test pilot. You know what I'm saying? He was Maverick before Top Gun was even a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of reverb back somehow.
We are.
Echo and reverb. I muted my mic and it didn't do anything, so it's not my end.
Did that fix it?
I still hear it.
How about now?
It's gone.
Now can you hear it?
Yes.
It's firefighter. That's what it is. I muted it.
Let me see if I can fix my tablet here.
The auto adjust on the audio might fix it. Noise cancellation.
Yeah. Well, anyway. What the fuck was I saying? I don't know. Oh, I was skeptical about Kyle Chandler. That's the fucker's name.
Yeah, the
Kyle.
early edition dude.
Because I've always seen him play like I think I've seen him play a bad guy once, or I've just seen him play a really, really nice guy.
That's usually what I've seen him in. Rarely you see him play a bad guy.
Yeah. I've seen him play a bad guy one time. I can't remember what the movie was. I'm blanking on the movie. But I saw him play a bad guy one time, which is not Hal Jordan. And I've seen him play a really, really nice guy, like, you know, the inspiring coach on Friday Night Lights, which is also not Hal Jordan. However, I will say from the very little I got from the trailer and the way he's acting in the trailer and the way he, like, talks to Jon Stewart and the way he from the, again, 2-minute fucking trailer, it has given me a little more confidence in his ability to fucking pull off the kind of cocky pilot personality, because it came across in the trailer. So that's something, I guess. I don't know, man. Like I said, the trailer was not great and certainly wasn't put together to change anybody's mind who had already decided they didn't like the premise of this show. But I liked it. I thought it was fine.
And plus, too, it's going to be hard to tell where the DCU goes now that Paramount and Ellison's.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about tonight. That's kind of why I wanted to talk about DC. Was because, like, okay, so we got Superman, we got Peacemaker, we've got Creature Commandos, we got Lanterns, we got Supergirl, and we're going to get the second Superman movie. All of that will have come out before Paramount takes over.
Well, the second Superman movie, probably not.
Oh, yeah, it's already in production. They've already announced it's in production. So, yeah, it's already, I mean, that's already done. It's already contracted. They've already fucking got the scripts. They're already doing pre-production right now. Like, that movie's coming out. So, that's supposed to come out in 2027.
They're not going to change anything and announce anything until all these movies that's in production are out, because they're not going to be stupid like James Gunn and Sabotage movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like he sabotaged Shazam 2.
That's the thing, though, is so it's almost a guarantee at this point that as soon as he's done making the second Superman movie, which he's, again, it's already contractually obligated. It's already in pre-production. Everybody's already been fucking paid. Script's done. Fucking, they've already got their Brainiac. They've already, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking happening. Like, it's going to come out in a little over a year. After that, I don't see James Gunn sticking around for Paramount. he vehemently despises Ellison.
But his stuff is not performed.
No, it hasn't. We talked about this ad nauseum last summer. But I liked Superman. Like, I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. However, I did not think it was a great movie, and I certainly didn't think it was good enough to be the launching pad for an entire new DC.
No, it should have been a Superman movie. It was an ensemble movie.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even really just a Superman movie. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I don't have a problem with it. If that had been the second or third movie in a Superman franchise,
yeah,
it would have been fine. I think there was a lot of good stuff in it. There was some things I didn't like about it. But like, I still maintain that Man of Steel is a way better fucking movie.
Oh, absolutely.
By leaps and bounds.
Is Man of Steel perfect?
No, Man of Steel is not perfect at all. But it's a way better. It's a way better cinematic experience.
There's just one little minor thing you can actually do to make Man of Steel much better is fix the color saturation. It's like been a fan edit out there where they did that. It would look so much better with brighter colors.
Yeah, just make it a little bit brighter and stuff like that. Or honestly, what I would have done, because there was a very distinct color palette choice between the opening like 15-20 minutes on Krypton and then when it boom goes to Earth. Like, it changed. Yes. It changed over. You could do that exact same thing again the minute he puts on the suit.
Yeah.
Boom, you change it. You get rid of the saturation and just beef up the fucking color.
Oh yeah.
Like, show 3 different stages of the movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think that'd be a great idea.
Because I think the color palette and the saturation work well for the portion of the movie from when we first get to Earth to when he gets the suit.
Yeah, even they could just have like the color saturation done when all the flashbacks.
And I'll say that's one thing that Superman
storytelling as well as showing that's different time periods.
Yeah, and I'll say that's one thing that Superman did well. It was a beautifully colorful movie.
Yep.
Not much, just like I explained it before. When after I saw the movie the first time, was it felt like a comic book on the screen. And it totally did. However, it felt like a comic book you've been reading for a while, and this is just the next issue that you're reading.
Yeah, it's like,
you know what I mean? It didn't feel like the beginning of something new and grand.
Like you're in the middle of a story arc.
Exactly. So it did. And again, as a Superman fan,
storytelling thing, architect.
Yeah. And as a Superman comic book fan, right? Like, I was able to get right into it and start watching it immediately and enjoy it. But I understand not everybody, like my wife, didn't like it.
James Gunn was shown too. He will not learn what the character's powers are or who the character's personalities are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like the whole stupidity of having Hot Girl screeching like a moron and murdering a leader of a country. She don't have sonic screams.
No.
Not her power.
And not that it really matters, but we don't even really know which version of Hawk Girl that's supposed to be. Like, we don't. And look, maybe they were saving that for another movie, right? But depending on which version of Hawk Girl that's supposed to be, and actually I can't think of any of the versions of Hawk Girl off the top of my head, that would just be a fucking murderer.
Exactly.
Now you can maybe, make some adjustments here and there depending on which version you're playing up. But anyway, it's like Hawkman. I mean, well, let's be honest. The Hawkman and Hawk Girl, I know they've tried to fucking retcon it into all being one origin. Because didn't they do that thing where, I know they did it more with Hawkman than they did Hawk Girl, but they did that thing where, like, because you had a version of Hawkman that was a reincarnated version, and then you had the version of Hawkman that was an alien, the Thanagarian, and then you had, like, there were several different versions, and they tried to do that thing where I can't remember what the story was, where they tried to do the thing where it's like, oh no, it's actually all the same person. He just keeps getting reincarnated. And one time he got reincarnated into the alien body, the Thanagarian's body. But it's the same person because a long time ago, thousands and thousands of years ago, he was like this really, really evil general that killed a bunch of people, and that's why he keeps getting reincarnated and can never be happy and all this shit. But technically, all the versions of Hawkman are all him, just being reincarnated at different times. And sometimes he can even be reincarnated into two bodies at the same time, but it's all still the same character. They tried to fucking do some retconning. I can't remember if that was like late 90s or early 2000s. I can't remember when they did that.
0 hours, I think, when they merged everything together. You had like the Hawkman with the metal wings.
Yeah, but they tried to retcon it and explain it that every version of Hawkman we've known is really all the same person. And I can't remember when they did that. Anyway, that's beside the point. Whatever. I get it. Look, from I can try and be unbiased and say, hey, look, the version of Hawkgirl that is in that movie was not going to be explained because they were probably going to save that explanation / origin story for a Justice League movie later on. So they didn't really need to explain much about her in this movie. She just needed to make an appearance and be a character. And we didn't need to know anything about her backstory yet.
The whole stupidity, though, too, with making Kal-El's Kryptonian parents be evil because they said, "Oh, we verified the message; it's real."
Wow.
Stupid.
I think that was completely retarded, and I would hope, although it is James Gunn, I would hope that at some point would have been addressed and been like, no, Luthor fucking made sure everybody, he tweaked the message before anybody had a chance to verify it. So everybody, you know what I mean? Something. Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to get to that fucking point.
No, it's going to recruit it.
But anyway,
I think after everything in production is made, I think they're going to change everything.
Here's the thing.
Now, Superman,
Paramount already came out. Ellison already came out and said he does not want to change anything. He does not want to reboot DC.
Well, he's not going to make any kind of announcements that until after all this stuff's come out.
No, I know, but he's already been running his mouth about it. He's already been out there making statements. Dude, he came out and made statements saying what he wanted to do with fucking HBO and HBO Max and all kinds of shit. Like, he's already out there fucking talking about what he's going to do with Warner Brothers. Like, he's not fucking holding back. And he straight up said he wants Gunn and Safran to continue to run DC Studios. He does not want to make any changes. And I believe him that he does not want to make any changes because he'd be pretty stupid to do it and reboot it yet again for the third fucking time in less than a decade. It would be dumb. Let this play out for a little while before you make any major changes.
What I'm saying is, though, he will say that no matter what, because remember what Gunn did? He ran his mouth saying all these movies like Black Adam, Shazam 2 are not going to be part of the DCU before he even made wrote the first draft and sabotaged those movies.
Oh, I know. And well, what I'm saying is, first of all, I think you're right. Ellison's not stupid enough to fucking do that. A. B. I also, because I've seen what he said, I believed him. And I think it makes sense.
I believe him too. He's just
I think he's smart enough to know James Gunn and Peter Safran are big fucking names, and this is a major fucking franchise, and you don't come in and fuck it up after 2 movies and a TV show. You give it a chance, because I think Paramount, with several of their franchises, have been much more forgiving. Just look at fucking Mission Impossible and some of the other stuff they've done. They'll let movies come out and push a franchise and let a bad one drop that didn't make that much money. They've been way better at letting franchises fucking simmer until they're done than Warner Brothers has. And I think he meant it when he said he wants Gunn and Safran to keep doing what they're doing. The problem is James Gunn is so obsessed with politics, he fucking hates Paramount and Ellison. He fucking hates them, which means I think as soon as he is no longer contractually obligated to fucking keep doing DC stuff, he will walk the fuck away. I think if this DC, I think if Gunn and Safran are no longer a part of DC, it will be because of them, not because of Paramount.
Oh, plus too, if he lets the Gunn is so emotional too, though, in that aspect, he will break a contract. Then they don't have to pay him.
Yeah. Now, that being said,
I'll be right back.
what could actually happen is Paramount says, hey, we want you guys to keep doing this. And they do the stuff that they're already involved in right now, which is, Supergirl's done, Lanterns is done. The only thing they're actively working on right now is the second Superman movie. As soon as they finish that, they fucking walk away. And then Paramount brings in other people to not reboot anything, but just continue what they've already done. Keep David Cornsweet, keep all these characters, fucking start making new movies, and they actually do them better than James Gunn does. And they take what James Gunn has laid out, which I think there's some good bones there, right? It has not been great. It's been okay, right? And Paramount actually finds somebody to run DC Studios that's better than James Gunn and Peter Safran if they walk away. I don't think Paramount's going to go in for another reboot. They will either... They'll stick it out. They'll try to keep this version of the DC universe going, whether James Gunn is there or not. They've still got most of these actors and actresses under contract for several movies. So even if Gunn walks away, they'll bring somebody else in. They'll bring other directors, other producers, other writers in to fucking start doing this shit. Yep. So I hope they would. I hope they would, because like I said, it's Superman was fine. It was good. It was enjoyable, but it wasn't great. However, I think you laid out some good stuff in that movie that you can definitely build on, and you could still build a good franchise out of this. You had some good characters in that movie. Fucking Mr. Terrific was fucking awesome. He was the best character in the fucking movie. Guy Gardner was great. Nathan Fillion, while I would have rather seen him as a Hal Jordan type, I think he still did a great job as Guy Gardner. Like, I think David Cornsweet was not great, but I think it was a good starting point.
Nathan Fillion has a working relationship with James Gunn, but he always does. James Gunn puts Nathan Fillion in roles that make him look ridiculous.
Yes, and I don't understand why Nathan Fillion puts up with it. Maybe it's just for the paycheck.
Yeah.
But I think, yes, I think Nathan Fillion is better than the role he was given as Guy Gardner.
Most of the DC animated movies for the last 10 years, Nathan Fillion's been the voice for Hal Jordan.
Yeah. Yeah, because he started with that Justice League, what was it? Something Frontier?
He had a Green Lantern movie straight off the bat after the horrible live action one.
Yeah. But he the first time he did Green Lantern's voice was in that Something Frontier, Justice League Something Frontier, back in 2006, 2007. I can't remember what the fucking name of it was, where they went back.
New Frontier. New Frontier.
Thank you. Yeah. I think that was the first time he did Hal Jordan's voice, and he did it for 5 or 6 movies. I think he did Hal Jordan's voice. So anyway, I think that, and I hope that, I'll be honest, I kind of hope that James Gunn does walk away, because I think there are better people who could do this.
Yeah, I want somebody who actually appreciates the actual characters, not just the names.
Yeah. I think there's people that could do it better. I think
Yeah,
but I do think it's important you don't do another fucking reboot, dude. You're gonna fucking destroy DC movies if you just do another fucking reboot.
Yeah. They could just basically do, instead of like a hard reboot, do like a DC is known for the Infinite Crisis stuff. Like they can do like a soft reboot. They've needed to recast some people or wherever and do a story like, well, they just had one in the animated universe, which was James Gunn's ideal to fuck over all the animated universes. Oh, you know all the animated universes you loved? I destroyed them.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think at this point DC live action movies could survive a soft reboot. I think if you change any actors, you're gonna fucking just kill whatever goodwill is left for DC movies.
Well, they could do like the Superman Red and Blue storyline if people are not happy with Corn Sweat.
They could. I think people would be weirded out not knowing what the fuck's going on because even.
Well, they explain it though, with like
yeah, they could.
Because Red Blue storyline's pretty like known through the comic universe stuff.
Yeah, it is. I think the best bet.
That's why
whether Gunn walks away or not, and like I said, it could actually be a good thing if he does. I think your best bet is just to stick it out. Bring other people in, fucking find people who are going to treat it right, and just continue with what we've got instead of rebooting yet a fucking again, because you're going to kill goodwill. Fucking keep David Cornsweet. Keep as many people as you fucking can. Acknowledge that yes, these movies have happened. We're going to keep moving forward, but we're going to try and make better shit with people who may be better suited to this. I don't think Paramount wants to I don't think they want to reboot DC in any way, shape, or form.
They got their hands full right now too with already stuff they got to fix with Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as the contract runs out with Kurtzman, they're getting rid of him.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They kind of need to get rid of him.
And that's one they have to fix.
Yes,
DC doesn't have to be fixed right now. It may need a slight course correction, but it doesn't need to be fixed. It doesn't need to be rebooted. It doesn't need any major overhauls. I would say there's some good foundations that have been laid that you can definitely build on if Gunn walks away.
Yes. The major thing that's actually absolutely destroyed is Star Trek. And that's what they got to work on fixing.
Oh yeah, they definitely have to fucking fix that hardcore, man, because as far as TV and movies are concerned, Star Trek it's a bigger IP than DC. And I know people don't want to fucking hear that. And I know comic book fans don't want to hear that. And I know fucking anybody who's gone to the movies in the last 20 years is like, no, that's not true. Yeah, it actually is. Star Trek as a film and television IP has been around a lot longer, has made way, way, way more hours of entertainment between movies and TV than DC could hope to do in the next 50 fucking years. And they need to hardcore fix that shit. Because they have an IP there that is just fucking dying on the vine, that has been repeatedly beat by people who hated it. And
there's this channel I subscribe to. He makes fun of all the, like the stupidity and like of the new Star Trek. Mm-hmm. And on the Starfleet Academy, all these people have scars, stab wounds, and different injuries that still have scars. It's like they forgot that the Star Trek has dermal regenerators.
Yeah.
From over 900 years ago, they could actually fix scar tissue. But apparently you can't do it in Starfleet Academy, which is 900 years past Deep Space Nine.
Mm-hmm.
People are still in wheelchairs.
Yep.
They're wearing glasses.
Well, you got to remember, in DS9, we still had characters in wheelchairs.
But that was because their species.
Yeah, that was because their species She couldn't handle fucking she was from a planet where the gravity was like what was it? Was it like 1/10?
Much lower.
Yeah, it was like 1/10.
Also, speaking of which, do you guys still get the feedback? I plugged in a headset.
No, I'm not getting any feedback.
Okay.
No feedback. Yeah, but that was a cause they actually explained why she's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
They don't do
Well,
that with Utrecht.
And then wasn't it was it Bashir who fucking set that room up for her?
It set the room up for her and actually started giving her like treatments where she could learn to walk around regular gravity. But if she kept taking them, she couldn't really go back to her home world.
Yeah.
So she chose to quit taking them. And that's the biggest issue. One of the biggest issues with Bashir, though, he kept wanting to screw his patients.
All the time, dude.
And then the other big thing people are complaining about is glasses. Well, in Star Trek, what was it, 4 or 5, where they go back in time? Kirk wore glasses.
Because he's allergic to the medication that fixes his eyes.
Yeah, they explain that in Wrath of Khan, I think is when they explain that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually give reasonings why he wears glasses. Medication that actually can fix your eyes. He's allergic to it.
They don't give the explanation. Oh, hey, but like with this whole scars thing, I'm like, well, what if they didn't have access to that technology because of the burn?
Well, the burn. Why would the burn have anything to do with like medical technology?
Well, because we saw in one of the flashbacks for the Klingon dude, they didn't have access to that kind of technology because of the burn, because the Klingons were like, fuck the Federation, they caused this.
Yeah, well, that's because the Klingons had always turned their back on that type of fucking technology. And so when the burn happened, then they didn't have access to it because they had never developed that on their own.
Well,
or
they even addressed that in Star Trek Deep Space Nine when Montauk, Bashir offered to fix his eye. He didn't want it.
Yeah. The Klingons had turned their back on it. So when they got cut off from everything, they didn't have access to it anymore because they had never taken that fucking technology themselves. Whereas the Starfleet, Earth, had that fucking technology. They helped develop that fucking technology, and they actively used it and would continue to use it. Just because they might have gotten cut off from other planets because of the burn didn't mean they didn't actively have that technology.
Which the burn makes no fucking sense anyway, because there's other methods of faster light travel,
which we've been bragging on them for fucking 8 years.
The Romulan style warp drives used a micro black hole to power it.
Exactly. Zeppelin
those would have still worked.
Zeppelin Cochrane's prototype didn't have the lithium.
Well, that was I think the way it's explained was a fusion-based warp core.
Right.
No, the point is the technology to be able to achieve warp without dilithium had been around for a really, really, really fucking long time.
Transwarp.
You would have been better off saying what the burn did was affect warp space. Like, okay, so remember, was it in? I think they started it in TNG when they found out that their warp engines were damaging subspace.
Yes,
you would have been better off. It would have been a better explanation to say that the burn damaged subspace instead of damaged dilithium. Like that would have made way more fucking sense as to why nobody could go to warp using any kind of technology. But see, they weren't smart enough to fucking think of that, even though it's literally was already done 30 years ago in TNG. And they already explained that if you fuck with subspace, you can't use warp. So, like, but the people writing Star Trek now are just too fucking dumb to figure that shit out. So they made something up that made no
watch only thing they do now, they watch old episodes of Star Trek and put in quotes from old Star Trek series. Well, the idiotic episode where they were talking about Benjamin Sisko, they had Benny's typewriter in a museum.
Mm-hmm.
The universe that didn't happen; it was just imaginary inside of Sisko's head. How did they have it as typewriter?
The only thing, and you know, would that they had taken.
Why would they have a Bajoran orb?
possibly there was a lot that didn't make sense about that. But let's say, okay, so take a moment to explain. Oh yes, after his vision, he replicated a typewriter and started fucking writing stories or something. Or he told his son about it. And his son replicated a typewriter because he wanted to be a writer. So he replicated Benny's fucking typewriter or something like that. Here's the other thing. How did a fucking holographic representation of a fucking orb do anything?
Mm-hmm.
That was a holographic representation in a holographic museum that apparently you can talk to just like it's an actual fucking Bajoran orb. What? That didn't make any goddamn sense, and they don't bother to fucking try to explain.
The orbs only work because they're connected to the wormhole aliens, the prophets.
And it wasn't even a real orb; it was just a holographic representation of one.
The only reason they work in the first place is because they're connected to the prophets.
Fucking stupid shit. It's just such stupid shit. It's such stupid shit. And what? And like I said, what drives me crazy is when I look at something. It's much easier to just dismiss something that is just complete garbage. But when you can tell that people put some level of thought into coming up with something that might have been a cool idea had people that knew what the fuck they were doing actually been put in charge of it, which, like I said, make a simple change about the burn, make it have affected subspace. And then you have a perfect fucking balance to come back and say, this is now let's do a show about Starfleet Academy fucking coming back with its first class since the burn. Okay, now things make more sense. Now put somebody in charge of that show that knows what the fuck they're doing, like fucking, I don't know, Terry Metalis instead of dipshit, and actually write good stories with good fucking characters instead of the bullshit we got. Because the premise itself, nothing wrong with that. That's kind of a cool new premise. Like, after this really bad thing happened to the Federation, finally we're getting the first new class of Starfleet Academy in several hundred years. That's a cool concept. Too bad you fucking butt fucked it the whole way there with your woke tard bullshit.
Well, not to mention this week's episode.
I don't care, but
well,
I'm just saying.
I'll agree with you with Terry Metalis, because if you look when he took over season 3 of Picard, it went from
he actually was
to holy shit.
It wasn't perfect. However, you could tell that the person that did that season loved Star Trek and loved real Star Trek and respected Gene Roddenberry's idea of what Star Trek should be. It was not a perfect season. Could you say it was a perfect season if you compared it to the first two? Yes, and that's why many people loved it, because the first 2 seasons were dog shit. However, it wasn't a perfect season. But what you felt when you watched it was that somebody who gave a shit about Star Trek made this.
Yeah, because Terry also brought back like all the good writers, all the good special effects people that worked on it in the past.
And fix the big flaw from Generations. They should have never destroyed the Enterprise D.
Yes.
The ship is. You think they would learn that lesson from Search for Spock. The Enterprise is one of the members of the crew.
Yep.
You don't destroy. It's like all these modern like reboots and stuff of 80s TV shows where the vehicle is part of the cast. First thing they do in a lot of these modern reboots, they destroy the vehicle immediately.
Yep.
Magnum PI destroyed the Ferrari. A-Team destroyed the van. Blah blah blah. Like, they don't care what was some of the stones that made the show popular.
They didn't do that to the remake of Battlestar Galactica.
No.
Until like the final episode.
Yeah.
Because she took such a beating that she literally broke her keel.
Well, see, now that's a good way to reboot something if you want to actually reboot. But regardless, look, Paramount's got a lot of shit that they've got to deal with. They desperately need to overhaul everything Star Trek.
Yeah.
DC, I think, is
They can hold the line with DC.
they can hold the line with DC. They can just, if Gunn leaves, which, like I said, I kind of hope he does, they can just bring in new people to continue what has already been started. And I think if done right, will be great. You know, I don't think DC is a lost cause right now. Star Trek is.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I like I said, when they came out and said, "Hey, we don't want to make any changes to DC Studios,"
They're already talking, in talks of doing a rebooting Star Trek, starting over. I don't think they need to do that. I think they just need to jump back and do a story after the Dominion War.
I think doing something after the Dominion War, or I mean, I would not even be opposed. In fact, there's a lot of really great fan fiction and stuff out there. There's a lot
of novels that continue the stories for these characters that are Dominion.
Yeah, but there's a lot of really great fan fiction and like stories and stuff that take place in what is called Star Trek's Lost Era, which is that era between the original motion pictures and Next Generation. There's like 100-year, 80-something year gap between those two, where there's a whole lot of shit. There's a whole lot of stories you could tell. There's so many, the Cardassian border wars, and like there's all kinds of shit that happened in that period of time that we've heard about, but we've never seen. If you wanted to like really, really, because I think you're right. I think if you want to really, really bring it back to, okay, let's put the focus back on where it needs to be as far as the types of stories we're telling and the types of characters we want in these stories. You go back to a more familiar time, and you either do it, like you said, right after the Dominion War, after let's say after Dominion War, after Voyagers returned home, that kind of thing, that general era, or you go back into a time that's like I'm talking about, which is between, when we last see the original TOS crew in the movies and when we first see Next Generation.
What you're talking about, I think what would be really cool too. Do a series on the Enterprise B. Because she's lost. We don't know what happens to her. Do a story that tells the story of the Enterprise B.
Yeah, that would be the Lost Era.
Yeah.
But also, if I remember right, timeline-wise, Lower Decks does take place after the end of Deep Space Nine and Voyager. So, and that was good Trek.
It was really good Trek, yeah. It was surprisingly good Trek. Like, when that show first came on, I thought, okay, well, we're going to get a Rick and Morty-esque, version of Star Trek that's probably going to be funny, but not going to be particularly loyal or faithful to the spirit of Star Trek. And I was very wrong, because it was.
But it was.
While it had so much humor in it and goofy characters, it never strayed from the spirit of what Star Trek is, which was surprising because of, the era it came out in. You know what I mean? So I would love to see more stuff like that done somehow, whatever it took to get that done, in the middle of fucking Discovery and everything else, all the other crap that's been coming out, for them to have been able to actually pull that off. And
Lower Decks is kind of one that kind of like gave us the hint that they were trying to retcon Discovery out of the main timeline.
Yeah.
Then they turn around and make Starfleet Academy in the Discovery universe.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, with Terry, I always mispronounce his last name. He set up the ending of Picard season 3 for a whole spin-off, and they're like, "Oh, we don't know about it."
Yeah. Oh, that was Kirkman adamantly refusing to do it.
Yeah.
Paramount wanted Legacy to happen.
Yeah.
And it would have been great because, especially if Terry was at the helm, we would have probably seen
They set the
a
stage
return.
with fucking, you know, you probably only would have had the, you know, TNG cast show up for like cameos and stuff, but with Seven of Nine and, you know, Picard and Crusher's son and Q was hinted to play a big fucking role in Legacy, and like they had set it up to do something new and fun and cool that stayed faithful, and yeah, they just like, nah, fuck that, we don't want to do that.
My only nitpick with the ending of Picard season 3, they should have renamed the ship Picard, not Enterprise.
Yeah,
because Enterprise is flagship name should be on the most advanced ship. Like on the Enterprise, I don't even know why they were retiring the Enterprise.
The Enterprise,
the F had like, okay, so the E, so the E would have only been retired not even 10 years before Picard season 3, which means the F had only been in service for less than a decade.
Yeah.
At that point, they did hint at that. They hinted that something happened to the computer cores that basically rendered it having to be retired. The computer cores have become compromised in such a way that even if they replaced them, it would affect the ability of the ship to maintain like optimal performance.
I find that just a bad excuse, because look at Voyager. They had to replace the entire biometric gel in the Delta Quadrant to go back to isolinear, because you can fix the computers.
Yeah. Well, look at what they were doing during the Dominion War, dude. They were taking old 100-year-old fucking husks,
Mirandas,
and kit bashing ships together with new computer systems and shit to get them up and running for the war. You know,
well, that would have been like a really cool idea for the. Well, I was thinking like after the Dominion War, take one of those ships, like take a old Constitution class that got refitted with new 24th century technology.
Yeah,
and
that would have been cool.
Have a crew of a new refit of a Constitution class, not the Constitution 2 or what they got with like the Titan 2, wherever.
You know what would have been cool? So, okay, you remember the time loop episode of Next Generation, right?
Yep.
Where Fraser was the captain of the old ship, the Bozeman.
Yep.
So there was a book that they did about that crew. They did a book. I want to say it was late 90s, maybe early 2000s, about the crew of the Bozeman. Because, and I read the book. It's been a while, so I don't remember all the details.
They have to be completely retaught on modern technology.
Yeah, they took that whole crew and they updated the Bozeman completely and left the Bozeman, like they completely updated it 24th century technology. And they essentially, they added some new crew members and things like that, but they kept that crew in service in Starfleet. And there was a whole book. They had been put on the Romulan border. They became a border patrol ship.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I would love to see stories about them.
Yeah.
About this crew that got pulled from the 23rd century 100 years into the future, into the 24th century, and they're, updated, upgraded fucking, what was it, a Miranda class?
Yep.
I believe it was a Miranda class ship.
Soyuz class, which was a variant of the Miranda.
I was getting ready to say that. It wasn't a Miranda, it was a variation of Miranda.
Yeah. And, give us some stories about that. I mean, granted, you're not going to get what's-his-face to play that character anymore, because that was 30-something years ago. But, just recast or whatever, but have it be the same character,
Well, they did mention it in Lower Decks. That was the ship that cleared Captain Freeman from quote unquote blowing up Pakled Planet.
But I remember reading that book. It was a really good book. And it was, I forget what it was. I can't remember the name of the book or anything, but do stories like that. Do a show about that crew, in the fucking 24th century. Maybe start off the show, kind of like the way DS9 kind of started with a flashback of Wolf 359 and everything that happened there. Have the first episode of this show be the Bozeman gets pulled, like their last final battle during the Dominion War and how they survived it. And then the show is like, their adventures after that, right? Or something. Like, there's so much you could fucking do. There's so much you could do to make good Star Trek again, man. By the way, thank you, Buffalo. Appreciate the super sticker.
Well, one thing they could also do is think about it this way. We have that whole time from when Enterprise went off the air, which was right at the final season was supposed to be them getting into the Romulan War.
Yeah.
I would love to have a whole series about the Romulan War and like the first few years after the Federation has formed, like seeing them like build up and come together. Would be fun.
There were rumors for a long time, and I know there was stuff that was being written about doing. I don't know if it was specifically supposed to be just about like the further adventures of Jonathan Archer, but he was definitely going to be a main character there was a script that was written for a show where they were going to bring him back, and he was going to be older. And I think it was either going to be right before or during the period of time where he actually becomes the president of the Federation.
Well, they're still talking about doing the President Archer series.
Yeah, he was, if I remember right, from what I was reading in the Enterprise novels, like all the Enterprise novels that deal with the Romulan War, all are great.
The backup on the Bozeman stuff, I had to use the restroom real quick. You were just talking about doing the flashback, like with DS9.
Yeah.
Take the same footage at the end of the time loop episode. Just reshoot all the on the Bozeman Bridge with new actors.
Yeah.
It just tied in with the Enterprise. Not Enterprise, the TNG on the view screen. Just have the new cast.
Yeah.
Replace it.
Yeah.
And start from there.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be a cool series because that would be. I mean, you're essentially, you're dealing with a lower class ship than what we're accustomed to with Star Trek shows, because you're not dealing with the flagship, right? That already is kind of a cool change, very similar to what they did with Lower Decks. And then you're dealing with a crew who's out of time and having to learn all this new stuff. So you get a little bit of that.
Not only the new technology of the diplomatic situations throughout the quadrant.
Yeah, but what you get for the audience experience is a way for you to be able to tell stories so that we're actually learning these things with the crew, because the crew's out of place too. You know what I mean? It's a really cool way to tell a story when you have a character or characters in the story that have a reason to need to learn a lot of new information, and it doesn't come across as just stupid spiel dialogue that is only being done for the benefit of the audience and doesn't actually make sense from a story point of view for characters to be talking about these things or mentioning these things or learning these things, But in a situation like that, like, it would make complete sense why you would need to re-explain, not to the audience, but to the characters on the show, what's going on with the Romulans at this point, what's going on with the Cardassians, what's going on with the Dominion, what's going on with the Klingons, and all this shit. And it's a way to bring new audience members in a way that doesn't just seem like you're just on some random diatribe trying to catch up your audience for no reason. You're doing it for the characters in the show, and it's a way for you to for all of the characters on there to be that surrogate for the people, for the audience. You know what I mean? The characters are the surrogate for the audience, and all the new things they're learning makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it would be a cool concept.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
And here's a crazy idea. Star Trek used to have technical advisors, and they would actually talk to them in court and share the script with the technical advisors, and stuff that didn't make sense. They go back and fix it. They don't do that no more. That's why Star Trek used to inspire new technologies. No, it don't.
And you know what? The other thing that I think would be cool, just from a personal standpoint, I don't know how many people are tired of this. I may be the only one. Maybe I'm the only one. I'm real tired of fucking blue holographic fucking screens for everything. I'm real tired of blue holographic fucking, you know, okay, get the actors to wave their fucking hands around and then we'll just fill it in with CGI after. Bringing in something like the Bozeman would be a really cool way to do a show where things were much more tactile.
Well,
less CGI bullshit.
The CGI bullshit don't make sense in a ship setting. Now, if they were like in a spacesuit, or they need something other, like they need to have a wireless display, that makes sense. But when you're on a ship and you need the shit to fucking work all the time, you want a tactical display, keyboard, or L card, whatever you want to call it,
or at least a haptic interface style,
like what the Enterprise D had.
Exactly,
made sense.
And
when you get into like holographic shit, where every button is just a fucking floating thing, then it stops from a tactical perspective. Exactly like you're saying, it stops making a lot of sense. You need hard things to act. You need hard buttons to push in case shit goes wrong, because you need to actually do what it's supposed to fucking do. And I think, but like I said, just from a fucking sheer, audience enjoyment aspect, I think getting back to that and getting away from the CGI fucking holographic bullshit would actually be much more pleasant to watch.
Mm-hmm. And the bridge windows.
I mean, it was fine back in the 90s and early 2000s when that first started popping up in TV shows and movies and stuff like that. But it's like worn out its fucking welcome at this point. And honestly, I blame Minority Report. Like, I love that movie, but they started that shit in 2000 with the fucking in the fucking air, and fucking everybody else has been doing it. And I'll tell you what I fucking loved. I loved BSG's fucking bridge. BSG's bridge was fucking badass and felt fucking real. We're talking advanced technology that fucking, I mean, look at all the shit that ship fucking had and what it could do and everything else. And they still had fucking buttons and toggle switches and shit.
And voice-powered radios.
Yes. Like there
because
was
they knew
it felt more real. You know?
Well,
and that added a lot. The little things like that add a lot to a fucking show and to telling a fucking story.
Yeah, but look at who did that reboot. It was Ronald D. Moore. Who is part of TNG. So he was like, okay, I'm given this task of rebooting it, but making it look modern. Okay, here's how we're going to do it. Instead of the Battlestars having energy weapons, they'll be giant kinetic weapons.
I know it would never happen because I've seen interviews with Ron Moore where he's basically just said that, he's just done with Star Trek. But I would fucking love for Ron Moore to come back to Star Trek. He worked, and granted it was at the tail end, but he worked with Gene Roddenberry. And if you look at what he did, and while he wasn't as big of a deal on TNG, he was He wrote a lot of the stories. He did a lot of the producing and things like that. Then he stepped up and helped be a showrunner on fucking DS9. Then he did fucking the showrunner stuff for the first, was it 2 or 3 seasons of Voyager? Like, and the reason he left and fucking didn't renew his contract on Voyager was because he said they didn't want to fucking listen to what he wanted to do with Voyager. And then I've heard him in an interview. He's like, because they said, well, what did you want to do with Voyager? And he's like, well, what I wanted to do with Voyager is I wanted to essentially make it to where, he's like, because I never really liked the Kazon, which, let's be honest, nobody fucking did. Kazon kind of sucked as a villain, and they really wore out their fucking welcome.
The Kazon were Timu Klingons.
Yeah, they were Timu Klingons. He was like, I wanted the story to eventually lead to where we would get to where we would find out way more about the origins of the Borg, because Voyager would end up in Borg space and they would become the big major bads, overarching villains of whole seasons of the show. And he's like, and they did not want to do that. They wanted to stay away from it. They didn't want to bring in the Borg. They wanted to do their all new thing, adventure of the week type stuff. They didn't want to do more they wanted to do episodic television. And I was like, no, look at what we did with DS9. We can do big overarching stories that last whole seasons, hell, that last the whole show. And what better villain to use than the Borg, because they're a villain everybody loves, and they're a villain we know next to fucking nothing about. And they told him no. And then he left the show. And what did they do a season after he left the show?
Borg.
They fucking did the goddamn Borg shit. And I've heard him in interviews go, that pissed me the fuck off. Like, he didn't say it like that, but you could tell he was fucking mad.
Well, but we also didn't get anything new about the Borg.
No, he wanted to really like explore the Borg.
The thing I hate more than anything what they did to the Borg was introducing the Queen. The way they did, if they did the Queen properly, I would have liked it, but they didn't. The Queen should have just been a manifestation of a group consciousness, not a individual. They made the Queen just basically be the boss of the Borg.
Yeah.
She should have been just a manifestation of the collective.
Well, I think they did try to do that afterwards. Like, they introduced the Queen in First Contact.
Yeah.
And they basically did what you said, which, don't get me wrong, I love First Contact, and I think it worked well for that movie as a movie. And I have no complaints about First Contact. After Wrath of Khan, after Wrath of Khan, it's like my favorite fucking Star Trek movie. However, they did try, because they introduced multiple queens, and they did try to back off on that one queen to rule them all type stuff, and it became more of a, well, there's always a queen around, and when one dies, when one goes away, whatever, there's another one that's going to pop up. And I always felt like, and maybe I'm just reading too much into it, that it seemed like the collective was creating a queen whenever it needed one, because from a strategic and tactical point of view, it saw the value in having a hierarchical position with one particular, essentially, from their point of view, a controlling module able to do that. Queen was a part of the collective, but it was a part of the collective that, unlike every other drone, served only one specific purpose. Whereas every other
kind of like how a queen does in a bee colony.
Right. So I felt like they kind of, as it went on, specifically through Voyager, they kind of backed off on that.
Voyager's one that pushed the whole individual queen thing, though. She was like having her like being at Matrix Zero and watching what's going on in Voyager on a single monitor. It's like villain of the week type shit.
Well, yeah, but they unlike what they did in First Contact, they made her seem more like she was a part of the collective. Like they acknowledged that she wasn't the only queen. That the Borg essentially created a queen whenever they needed one. Because the first queen we saw went back in time and fucking died, and then the collective created another queen. So it's like a specific role that the collective creates whenever it needs to fill that role. So that's what I'm saying. Is in Voyager she came across as more of like, unlike like so all the drones do everything, right? Like your average Borg drone fucking does everything. Can be programmed and sent out to do anything that needs to be done at that particular time, whether it's repairing a ship or fucking going in and fucking attacking somebody, or fucking we need drones to fucking carry equipment from one place to another, whatever. Like every drone basically does the same thing, which is every drone does everything. The Queen was created by the collective to do this one specific thing because the collective realized it needed this one specific job to be done by one particular drone. Kind of like it's like, on your fucking computer, it's the fucking operating system, right? Like she was the operating system for the fucking Borg, which they didn't explain any of that shit at all. And in fact, I think tried to explain it as though she was actually an individual in First Contact, but then they kind of backed off on that throughout Voyager.
Like on First Contact, like Picard was having flashbacks when he was Locutus of her in his head. Yeah, which was not established in those early episodes. No,
it was not established, and then they try to make it seem like, she wanted a companion in that movie, because then that's why she wanted Locutus, and then now she wants Data and all that shit. But then by the time it moves to Voyager, she doesn't give a fuck about any of that. She's just like, she's just like the operating system for the Borg. You know what I mean? She monitors and controls everything and makes sure that the overall fucking goal of the collective is being done.
Well, what's funny, like in the previous episodes in TNG, the Borg thought Data was not necessary because fully mechanical. Then she wants him to be the new Locutus.
Yeah, she wants him to be more human and shit. Like it again. I'm not going to defend what they did with the Borg Queen in First Contact. But I do think it works in that movie because I fucking love that movie. but from what you're saying, like I agree completely as far as what you're saying, as far as how it like fucking changes aspects of the Borg. It fucking totally does.
Well, it makes them less threatening, I think.
Yes, it does. There is something way more threatening about just essentially a force of fucking nature that you cannot stop.
Yeah.
That is just that has no, for lack of a better term, mindset or free will other than what it is programmed to do. There's something very terrifying about a thing you cannot fucking reason with. Whereas when you start to give that thing a personality and a figurehead that you can reason with, it becomes, like you're saying, less threatening.
Yeah.
So I agree.
What I thought was done well when they introduced like 7 and 9, they made her the voice for the collective, an individual easier for them to talk to and relay stuff to the collective.
Yeah.
She basically they elevated her consciousness within the Borg to act as a voice, kind of a la Locutus.
Yeah, exactly. Which, when they did Locutus, made sense. The Borg realized, hey, we've captured a bunch of people and we're turning them all into drones. Why don't we take this one and fucking see if we can use it to our advantage in a way that, just as a communication device more than anything else. That's what I always got from Locutus.
Yes.
He was just a communication device, and he was only put in place because they thought it might further their own goal of assimilation.
Exactly.
Like that was the only reason he was there.
Well, you could say that is the same thing with Seven, because when she was first introduced, think about it, she's like, "Oh, I'm the tertiary adjunct of this Unimatrix."
That's what we're saying. Yeah.
Well, what the hell is...
was that worked because she was, they didn't try to make her an individual or anything like that. They were just like, okay, we need basically a fucking mouthpiece to communicate with these fucking humans because we want something out of them. And that's exactly what they did with Locutus. They were like, oh, here's this. We have identified that this individual is of some level of importance to the people we are trying to assimilate. And let's see if getting him to essentially be our fucking loudspeaker will get us what we want any more efficiently. And that's what they did with Seven.
Weakness identified.
Yeah. So it made sense. But anyway. Yes. But here we are. Have we fixed all the problems with entertainment? We haven't even talked about Star Wars yet. I don't even think I want to get into that right now.
That's next week.
We've discussed DC and Star Trek for the last hour and a half, which is
we've all kind of agreed. DC needs to hold the course for now, see how it goes. More than likely, Gunn's going to leave either for his contract stuff or before. They probably would want him to go before, then they don't have to pay him as much.
Yeah. I think they're like I said, I don't think they're going to encourage him to leave before the next Superman movie because of where it's at in pre-production and development. I don't think I think it's mutually beneficial to everybody to just let that go ahead and happen.
I'm willing to bet they're going to have some input on the second one because the first one, to me, was a mess.
Yeah, like I said, I as a comic book fan, I enjoyed it because it was like just watching a comic book on the movie screen. However, there's so many things I would have done differently as a fucking movie, as the first movie in this new IP, this new franchise going forward. There's so many things I would have done differently. But as a comic book fan, I was like, cool, I'm watching a comic book on the screen.
Oh, Krypton's Toy Bot's asking, did we mention in the theory that suit's not Hal's? I don't know.
No, I mean, that is one of the theories. The other theory is that that's just Hal's old suit that he has not worn for a long time, hence the reason why he is training Jon Stewart to take over. So
the brown on it and the brown on the leather too kind of goes with the flight suit stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, people were like, "Oh, what is this? Brown lanterns?" And I was like, I don't know. It looks fine to me. Like, I don't.
It's got green on it. A lot of people keep sharing that AI picture of him wearing a brown suit. It's AI.
Yeah, no, that's.
You can see green on this suit.
Well, the whole undersuit, the quote unquote leather armored panels on it might be brown, or it could just be.
Or on the shoulders are clearly green. On the
undersuit. The undersuit here, this is all green under here.
Yeah, these on the strap area, that's green.
Yeah, this is all green. The sleeve is green. All of that's green. This might be brown, or it could just be the fucking filter they're putting on this thing. Who the fuck knows? Or what it'll actually look like on the show. I have no idea. But this triggered a lot of people. But again, like I was saying earlier, I think it's the same people that just don't like the concept of this show not being some grand space opera. Or so they weren't going to like this no matter what.
Maybe maybe this town
fuck,
has.
dude, Guy's suit was mostly white and black with just some green stripes on it, and you know,
Of course,
like,
I hated Hal's suit.
oh, Hal's suit was fucking awful,
not
but
Hal's suit, the guy's suit.
or Guy's suit, yeah, Guy's suit was fucking awful, but he's still Green Lantern. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm honestly, if there are brown leather parts on this suit, because that's, you know, again, his style, because he was a fucking test pilot. And we've established that the suits that are
maybe he
worn
has
by
irritable bowel disease. He just wears brown just because of it.
Yeah, maybe he's just got a bad case of diarrhea. I don't know. Either way, the suit didn't fucking trigger me. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with it. Again, I am 100% certain that we're going to get actual Green Lantern shit that people want in this show. Like, we're going to see fucking Hal and or John in fucking Green Lantern suits, fucking kicking ass and taking names and whatever, and you know.
The only way I'm going to be happy is the fact John saves the Grand National.
And maybe he will. Maybe he will. I have no idea.
If he don't, the show's fucked to me.
Although it didn't look like he did, man. He came walking up. He didn't drive up.
So,
but
fuck this show then.
But
well, speaking of,
I like I said, I know a lot of people didn't like the trailer. I like the trailer because if it's done right, I'm perfectly okay with like just a small story about John and Hal fucking getting involved in some pseudo Earth-based fucking Green Lantern murder mystery fucking thing. I'm okay with that concept. If it's done well, fucking cool. Some of the best stories are the smallest fucking stories, you know?
Yeah, that's why I wish. I talked about like Shang-Chi. I wish they just did a small street level series, a movie.
Exactly.
Instead of this whole gotta save the planet on every damn thing.
Yeah.
I don't need superhero stuff. Everything that the planet's in dire in danger. Like if they don't save the day, the planet's doomed. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Your story.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up fucking reading Spider-Man.
I like
Spider-Man. Almost never fucking.
He was a street level character. I don't know
exactly.
why they needed to give him like he's got to save the planet thing.
Yeah, I mean, fucking.
He worked for Illmi Six. Is like in the comics. That would be a great thing to do.
Yeah. Well, it's like so many comics, dude. I mean, I fucking love Punisher. I love Spider-Man. I love Daredevil. You know, look how many people out there love fucking Batman, right? Like these are not these comic books that people have been reading for fucking decades are not they're not into the world stories and villains and shit like that. These characters very rarely are Batman very, very, very rarely, and usually only when he's in a fucking Justice League comic, is actually fighting for some world-ending fucking threat. You know, same thing with Spider-Man and Punisher and Daredevil and all these other fucking beloved characters with beloved comics and beloved movies. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This Green Lantern show does not have to be about them saving the fucking galaxy or even the Earth.
Exactly.
You know? And by the way, it might still be that. We don't know. We just know wherever the story starts, it's with some fucking murder in a small town. We just know the story starts there. We don't know where it fucking ends up.
I'll be right back.
All right. So.
Speaking of which, have you seen the little videos of Nathan Fillion going around and talking to all of his old Firefly castmates?
I have, and it makes me it gets my hopes up, which I don't want you to get my. I feel like Hawkeye in fucking Endgame. Don't do that to me. Don't get my hopes up. You know what I'm saying? If you're
right,
not fucking follow through, don't fucking do it. Don't
but
have this
so far,
some fucking we're new fucking Firefly, a new audiobook is coming out. Fuck you. Like, don't do that shit unless you mean it. So I'm just saying, I don't know. We'll see. But I would love for there to be new Firefly. It is a franchise, or it is a show / also a movie that you could literally bring all those characters back and say it's 10, 15 years later. You know?
Well, it depends, because they say that the movie was to wrap everything up once it got canceled by Fox. And certain characters did die in the movie.
Yeah, Wash couldn't return. And the
well, you know what they could bring Wash back for? They could have saved his brain and put it in a robot. And since basically Alan Tudyk plays half the robots that we've had on screen for the last fucking 10 or 15 years, he'll be right at home playing a robot version of Wash. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, you got a point.
Just have him be a robot version of Wash. They put Wash's brain in a fucking robot, and he'll just play a robot again. How many times has this motherfucker played a robot? I feel like he's played a robot a lot.
You don't even get credit for the iRobot, because Will Smith got mad at it because people like him better than
bitch. That's why.
Will Smith's a bitch.
He was K2SO. What other robots was he?
I don't know, but he does a lot of fucking voice work. Like, a lot of voice work.
He does in the new Gunn universe. He's the robot in Superman.
Yep.
He's 4. He's also
like we were just saying, the robot in iRobot.
Yeah. And not only that, the robots, he also does other characters, the radioactive guy from Suicide Squad and Clayface.
Yep. And let's not forget, if you've ever watched Moana, which, by the way, the first Moana is actually a good movie.
Oh, yeah, he was the chicken.
He was the chicken. He played a fucking chicken and was fucking great at it. That chicken was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he also designed the choreography for the intro of Peacemaker.
Yep, he did. Well, him and his wife, because his wife's a choreographer. So. Yep.
Just remember, 2 by 2, the hands of blue.
I did see some. I know they're already put the rumors out, like possible season 2 of Firefly on Disney Plus.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were talking about, and that's why I was saying, like, don't fucking tease me. Don't do that to me. Don't give me hope. If you don't
give him hope.
Don't fucking do it if you don't mean it.
Don't edge him. Don't edge him.
Yeah, don't do that to me. So, this better be something real. And I don't just mean we're doing a Firefly audiobook and all the cast members are going to do their own voices. No, fuck that shit. No.
The movie Electric State. The Netflix movie Electric State, he was Cosmo.
Yeah, that's right.
But I got this to say, I think the reason why Firefly...
He's Optimus Prime, too, in the Earthspark.
Oh, he is?
Yep.
Never watched it.
It's also the Transformers cartoon where they have transgender robots.
Yeah, never watched it. Never planned to.
Wait, Earthspark, wasn't that part of the Netflix series?
That was the kids' cartoon that had the They Them robots.
Which, that's gone now, right? Like, that didn't last long?
No, that's gone, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
World Tomorrow, he plays an AI.
I'm just saying, the dude's played a lot of robots, okay? He can play a robot Wash. Or, like George is saying in the chat, he can be downloaded into the Serenity. And he could be the fucking Serenity's computer.
Yeah. But I got this to say, Firefly was great because it was not your typical space sci-fi.
It was cowboys in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it was so good. Oh.
Yeah, fantastic fucking show, man.
Nope. Astro Boy, he plays 3 robots.
See, look at this.
Stinger 2, Scraphead.
Yeah, just get him to
I
play.
found a site that all has different like voices for. I'm scrolling through all the different robots. He's done a ton of cartoons. He's even done Superman.
He did what?
Superman.
That's right. He did. I forgot about that. And yes, George, you're right. Not for Gary. Sorry. We didn't call him by his proper name. His name is not Robot Number 4. It's Gary. Oh, I love Alan Tudyk. I was so pissed when they canceled Resident Alien. Did you ever watch that show?
When he was talking about canceling it, it made sense why they canceled it, because nobody watches network TV anymore. So,
yeah, I mean, I get why it was canceled. It just pissed me off because that's a really fucking good show.
Well,
that's a really good show.
Like he was talking about at the end too. The budget got so reduced where it was just kind of getting to be pathetic.
Yeah. Oh, Sith's right. He did play Bruce Wayne's cousin. Do you remember that? Alan Tudyk played Bruce Wayne's cousin.
Oh yeah.
What was his name?
When was that?
So there was this show that only lasted 1 season, and I think even that the season got cut short, and I think only like 8 episodes premiered. I can't remember was it just called like Superpowers or something like that?
Something like that. Well, they were basically kind of I didn't really watch the show. I watched some clips of it.
I did watch the show. It was actually good. So it was Powerless. Thank you, Sith. It's called Powerless, and it was weren't they kind of like Damage Control in Marvel? Or
yeah,
something?
that's what I was thinking.
Were they Damage Control, or they were like, or was it they were like a fucking I don't know. They had something to do with superheroes. So they just played a fucking it was a company that worked with superheroes in some capacity. Either they like cleaned up their messes, and then I think they did like marketing for superheroes and shit. And it was a comedy show, but it took place in the DC universe. And Alan Tudyk played like, I don't know, Gary Wayne or something like that. But he was Bruce Wayne's cousin who ran
gear for superheroes.
Huh?
Krypton's Toy Vault said they make gear for superheroes.
They make gear for there you go. They make gear. Yeah, I couldn't remember what they did, but they worked with superheroes in some way, shape, or form. And it was a really good show. Like it was done well, and it was also really funny. And it was just kind of this little like, you know, comedy show that takes place in the DC universe. And it got canceled after a few episodes.
Oh, that's one episode where Lois Lane got killed, and it's like it's a no regrets day.
Yeah.
So Superman's going to turn back time and bring her back.
Yeah.
No consequences.
Speaking of DC stuff, I just had a random thought. Because if Paramount does buy DC,
that's a done deal.
What about instead of them doing a reboot or anything like people are afraid of, what if they start putting out like movies based on the Elsewhere storylines?
Which I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
But it would confuse people though.
Yeah.
Muggles would get
But it would make for interesting one-off superhero movies.
It would. And if you do it right and you just make good movies, right? Like this is, I mean, let's all go back. If you go back before Iron Man, that's how superhero movies used to be, right? You would just make a superhero movie and it didn't have other superheroes in it.
There was no connected universes stuff.
Yeah. Like that used to be how it would be, and nobody really had a problem with it. And as long as it was a good movie, cool. So you could certainly go back to doing that. I do think there is a level of audience expectation if they see in any way, shape, or form the name DC attached to a movie that they've now trained audiences to expect there to be some level of crossover with characters they know. Like, let's say you do a movie about, I don't know, Booster Gold, right? And if, most of your, like you were saying, muggles don't know who the fuck Booster Gold is unless you watched, Justice League, the Justice League cartoon or something like that, right? So maybe a lot of muggles don't know who fucking Booster Gold is. You do a Booster Gold movie and it's got DC attached to it. People are going to expect characters they do know to show up in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they should. I'd love to see a fucking Booster Gold movie, by the way. That would be awesome. Have it start off with him in the future and getting the suit and all that shit. You know what I mean? That'd be a cool movie. And maybe that's not a good example because, to be honest, like, part of the story of that is he has to come back in time and start kind of getting into it, or at least getting in the way of other heroes. So maybe that's not a good example of what I'm talking about. But
of course, they could, it could be the start of Booster Gold too, though. A good writer could write a good story about him in the future, kind of being a loser, stealing the suit. That's what he does. He steals the suit out of a museum.
Yeah.
I'd be all for that, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to see a live action Superman Red Sun.
That would be cool. I would not have a problem whatsoever doing a Red Sun Superman.
Yeah. The big issue is getting the right people involved. They should get the people who are doing those really good DC animated movies.
Yeah.
That was basically retelling really good comic book stories. Problem is now you got too many activists. They'll just do modern comic stories that are fucking absolute garbage.
They'll do Red Sun Superman and like the communists will be the good guys.
Or they do the Red and Blue Superman where he gets raped in the ass.
Yeah. But he likes it and he realizes he's gay.
Or do aged up Jonathan Kent with his pink-haired boyfriend.
Hey. Just remember, it's the pink kryptonite that causes that.
That, honestly, what George is saying in the chat, that would be the best option for an Elseworld. Speeding Bullets would be, because everybody knows Superman and everybody is familiar with Bruce Wayne's story. So putting Clark Kent into that would be something everybody would immediately understand, right? Because we already know those two characters. There's nothing really to explain. Like with Red Sun, you got to do some explaining a little bit. With some of the other Elseworld stories, you have to do some explaining. Speeding Bullets, you don't. It's just Clark Kent or fucking, Kal-El fucking crash lands in Gotham instead of Smallville, and the Waynes.
I love Speeding Bullets. That was one of my favorite trades. But
yeah, that would be a pretty easy one to explain to general audiences.
Well, there was one I saw just recently that was an Elseworlds one, but instead of it being in modern times, it takes place in the medieval time, and Superman crash lands, but when he crash lands, his parents are with him too. And
I've seen bits of that.
Yeah, I've seen bits of it, and from what I've seen, it's pretty good. And I'm like, ooh, that would make a good movie.
You could do some cool Elseworlds movies. You would, like I said, you would need to start with something like Speeding Bullets that everybody can very quickly wrap their heads around. Oh yeah, Gotham by Gaslight's another good one.
Yeah, you know what would be really good? Don't even do like the big the bright superhero stuff. Do a Spectre movie.
Oh yeah, Spectre.
I mean, classic like 80s styles, early 90s Spectre.
Yeah.
Or Dead Man.
Yeah.
The mystical side of. Can you imagine if we instead of wasting Pierce Bronson on that horrible Black Adam movie, we could have had a Pierce Bronson Dr. Fate movie?
Yeah, leading into like a JSA movie.
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
he was the best part of that movie.
Oh yeah, by far. Although I thought what's his face? I don't remember the actor's name. Who played Hawkman did a pretty good job too.
Yeah,
but
he's good. He's done a lot of.
Yeah, I can't remember that actor's name, but he's been in a lot of shit. I thought he did a pretty good job. I thought everybody but The Rock actually did a pretty decent job.
There's one thing, I think one of the things that movie would have. Well, two things they did for Black Adam. They could have done for Black Adam to make the movie better. When he first awakens in the modern era, have him be speaking Arabic.
Yeah, that would have made. But that would have made way too much sense.
Then, like when he hears like another thing too, I don't understand why Intergang is in this foreign country when they're a mafia style outfit in Gotham.
Yeah,
but have him like hear them talk. Other characters talking English and using the wisdom of Solomon. Starts talking English.
You know what would have made that movie fucking perfect is if it just had been a JSA movie and had nothing to do with Black Adam.
Oh, that too. But if you're going to have Black Adam in there, though, it's like do some
JSA shit. Going up against Intergang trying to fucking, and maybe Intergang's trying to find fucking, they're trying to dig up Black Adam as the ultimate weapon or something. I don't know, but like it's a JSA movie, not a fucking Black Adam movie.
Well, one thing would have been really cool for a start of a like a DC universe starting with Superman. Metropolis was as bad as Gotham when Superman got there. It was Intergang.
Yeah,
Intergang just ran the city. Have him be cleaning up the city, and Intergang get desperate and like breaking the Star Labs, cause the accident that creates the parasite. First villain that really brings Superman to his knees because it steals his powers. Then do at the end credit scene, have Intergang do a back alley deal of getting technology, and it be Desaad from Apocalypse, setting things up in the future.
Yep.
Or, like you said, like get word of Black Adam or something like that. They go there to try to find something that can fight Superman.
Yep. Would have been cool.
There's another one I was thinking about story-wise that would be great, but I can't remember what it was. Damn it. Oh, wait, no.
Needless to say, there is a lot that can be done with DC. And you can work in Elseworld stories, or you can work in characters that, if you don't read comics, you've never heard of. There's a lot you could do. And I hope that Paramount runs DC Studios right, regardless of whether or not Gunn sticks around, because I want, like, I mean, people think, oh, dude, it's been like this my entire life. Even when I was reading comic books, right? People were like always trying to fucking, you got to pick a side. Are you Marvel or DC? Motherfucker, I like both. And same thing with the movies. I want both to be good. I want good Marvel movies. I want good DC movies. Fucking give me some good fucking Dark Horse Comics movies. Give me, you know what I mean? Like I just want good comic book movies.
Yes.
I don't care what fucking, I don't care where it's from. I don't care what, comic book company created the character. I just want good shit, and I hope Paramount does a good fucking job with DC Studios. It might actually be a really good thing that James Gunn ends up leaving because he hates Paramount.
Too, like I said, James Gunn does not give a shit about anything about the history of the characters. He just takes it, grabs names and their looks, and does what the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't even keep their looks. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, it worked because they're lesser known. But the Guardians of the Galaxy movies have nothing to do with the fucking comics.
No. No, not at all.
Ronan was not a religious zealot. Ronan was the basically the Kree like enforcer. Like he was basically their like Judge Dredd.
Yeah. And the other thing was, and he wasn't. I mean, from the Kree's perspective, he wasn't a bad guy.
No, he was their hero.
Yeah, he was their Thor. You know what I mean? Like,
he was their Superman.
Yeah. So, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see where all this goes. We got a long way to go before Paramount actually starts doing some shit at Warner Brothers to see if, because again, like we were talking about, their biggest challenge right now is fucking Star Trek far more than DC or anything else, and that's already in their own backyard. That's already
people that were in charge of Paramount before were absolute fucking morons. They gave Kurtzman full fucking control. The green light shit without Paramount's approval.
Yeah.
And they could not tell him to make anything. He, like I said, they wanted him to make Legacy. He said no. He had the ability to tell the fucking people who own Star Trek no.
Which is just fucking crazy, dude.
They gave him ownership of the shit he fucking makes.
Well, I mean, he can take ownership of that trash.
People of Paramount were fucking morons.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't think it's a big loss to Paramount that he owns the trash that he's made, because that's not going to make money for him, and it wouldn't have made money for them either. So
no, it needs they just need to just let it go. They're trying to play nice for some reason, from what the word is, just so they can keep that stuff he made.
Yeah,
I say just let them keep it, because nobody fucking wants it.
Yep, I agree. Keep your shit here. Take it with you when you fucking leave, asshole.
One of the things I love watching on YouTube is the technology breakdowns, like some of the channels for Star Trek.
Oh yeah, I love that shit.
The problem is though, when they start incorporating Kurtzman track into the channels, it's like, fuck, dude, this shit's not gonna mean fucking canon in fucking a few years.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, George is right. Valiant movies, Exo Manowar, shit like that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Which I think, well, Valiant still owns Exo Manowar. Yep. They don't own Magnus. They don't own Solar. They don't own Turok.
Anything that's Gold Key Comics, they don't own.
Yeah. They do still own Exo Manowar. I think they still own like Archer and Armstrong, Harbingers.
Of course,
they still own Rye and Bloodshot. Which, by the way, Rye, I would say Rye was my favorite of the Valiants. I don't know. It was between Rye and Exo Manowar.
I like
that idea of it being, I can't remember. I'm blanking now how many thousands of years in the future it was. And fucking Japan is this giant country-sized floating fucking,
Oh, Rye.
Like it was I loved Rye. Rye was an awesome fucking comic. But anyway.
Well, Gold Key too is actually owned by other people. That would be really cool things to see, like brought to the screen.
Yeah. It would. I wish we could get some of that stuff, but I mean, Vin Diesel tried with Bloodshot.
It was just bad timing.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie, by the way.
No, it's not.
I like the movie. It was a good starting point for some shit. I thought
it came out right when COVID hit.
Oh yeah, right when COVID hit, and that just fucked everything up.
That was the last movie I actually saw in the theater before COVID.
Yeah.
Me and my brother-in-law went to go see it, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. So,
and I'd like to see more of it because I would like to find out what his actual real backstory would have been.
Yeah,
because everything they showed was all fabrication.
Yeah, it would have been cool because I mean, Bloodshot, and I just innately like Bloodshot as a character because of how he relates to Rye. You know, he was like the first, and it's his bloodline that leads to Rye being what he is thousands of years later. And so starting there with Bloodshot was a cool, you know, launching pad for a lot of cool other stuff they could have done if given a chance. So, but I don't know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time of the evening. We've been going for a couple hours here, and I have to go spend some time with my family. I say I have to. I want to go spend some time with my family. So,
and he actually woke up for this.
I did. I didn't take a nap today. I didn't take a nap. But today was my day off, so it was. I didn't wake up retardedly early at 3:00 in the morning.
Hold on. We got a question that relates to me. Is
Malibu Comics still a thing?
Yes and no. Marvel owns it. I don't think they actually remember they do own it.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll never use it again because they actually have to do like standard like rates to like the creators. If they use characters, like if they write comics for it, they don't have to do that. But if they do movies or toys, they gotta pay like a licensing fees to the original creators.
And that's because of how Malibu Comics was structured. Would Malibu Comics had been structured the way Marvel was structured and still is, where if you create anything while working for them, they own it, like Malibu Comics owned it, then...
Well, they own.
It'll be free and clear. But Malibu Comics was structured in a way where the creators of what Malibu put out still owned the rights to, or certain rights, right? They owned certain levels of rights to it. Whereas, like, if you create something for Marvel can do whatever the fuck they want.
They basically had the same setup as DC. DC, when a character shows up in a DC movie, they actually get pretty good kickbacks from that. But not the same on Marvel. Marvel, you don't get shit. So Marvel, and plus two, we were this close. The DC owning Malibu Comics. The only reason Malibu is in its void is because Marvel, the people running Marvel at the time were dicks, and they didn't want to have DC get a larger sharehold in the comic book industry. So they put in a larger bid, the overbid like DC Comics, and didn't do a good job on the contracts, and got Marvel.
Yeah.
Which I would love. That actually, in the early 2000s, they were wanting to do a Prime movie.
But Marvel started to do some stuff with Malibu for a brief period of time when they first bought them. Because remember, they were doing all that Infinity Gem shit over in Malibu.
They ran for about a year after they bought them, a year and a half, and they killed it. And it's not going to make sense. They were going to do basically a superhero comedy style live action Prime in the early 2000s, and it didn't go anywhere.
And yes, Delina, I would love to see a reboot of Spawn and Wesley Snipes as Blade. Both of those things. I'd be more excited with Wesley Snipes as Blade because the stuff I had heard about a Spawn movie sounded fucking retarded. All that bullshit with Spawn being more like an apparition, a ghost, and all this. Like, I don't know. There were some weird rumors coming out because they've been talking about a Spawn movie being in development for the last 10 years. Yeah. That what's his face?
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx was connected to. And the stuff they were talking about sounded fucking retarded. I don't know if it was true, but those were the rumors coming out about what the new rebooted Spawn would be, and I thought it sounded insane.
You know what I think would be really cool for if they bring back since the Mashallah Ali's Blade movies are not going to happen now.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back Wesley in a Whistler role.
Yes. Well, bring him back in a Whistler role, or just give him a good send off. Like have him be in fucking Secret Wars or something, and then reboot it after that. Or I don't know. Do something with him, because he, like, I remember this vividly. Like, out of all the cool stuff that happened, and there was a lot of cool stuff, and I'm not saying it's like the greatest movie ever or anything, because it's fucking not, but there was a lot of cool stuff in Deadpool and Wolverine. But at no point in the movie did people get more excited and fucking cheer than when fucking Blade showed up.
Absolutely.
That movie theater went fucking nuts, dude.
I love the line, there's only going to be one motherfucking Blade.
Yeah. Like, give the dude something.
Yeah.
You know, we got a tease of him in that movie, and it was fucking awesome. But, like, give him something else. Have him be Whistler in the next iteration, or bring him back in Secret Wars for one last fucking, adventure or whatever. I don't know, but do something with
They
him.
can explain why too, like Daywalkers have all their strengths and stuff, but they age.
Yeah.
Have them find a new Daywalker, train them, be like Whistler.
Yeah, that would be fucking awesome. That would be fucking great. But
they'll never do that because it'd be fucking great.
Yep. And that's the problem. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us tonight. You guys have a great fucking weekend. We will see you next time. And you're doing your show tomorrow night, right? 7 o'clock Eastern?
Yep.
I will try to hop on because I'm actually off Monday. My days off got switched.
Sweet.
So I now get every other weekend and every Monday off. And before it was every Friday. So I'm now working on Fridays, which is why I was so fucking tired yesterday, by the way. But now I'll be off every Monday. So when I get my 3-day weekend, it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday instead of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Cool. So I will try to be there tomorrow night. So, but that's it, guys. We will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, as I said. And deuces, yo, all that good shit that we usually say at the end of the chats. And we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.
Later.